This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of a famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. Had a Twitter exchange with a stranger last night whose profile included the words Los Angeles, Brooklyn. Obviously, Brooklyn's part of New York City, so I added New York City. I referred to her repeatedly as LA, NYC, Brooklyn woman. My first tweet to her produced the following. Listeners, it was, a typical, they're commonly called Twitter war. This was not warrior-like. However, it was this kind of typical negative hashing kind of Twitter exchange, and it went on for about 15 or 20 minutes and kind of ended with, no epic event, which is usual. Someone just gets tired, and I think it was her, or distracted or whatever. And I'm back at it this morning. This is only like 12 hours later, and I can't make sense of what happened. So I'm going to, in an attempt to make this listenable, I'm going to read my stuff first, and then I'm going to come back and read her stuff. That sort of doesn't make sense, but the truth is, if I do he said, she said, he said, she said, then that really doesn't make sense, because she was out of sync with my stuff, replying to stuff 3 tweets earlier, and so that makes even less sense. So to the extent this becomes listenable, listeners, dear kind listeners, you will be a rare person if you make it to the end of this. I'll do my best. So this begins, I created a video that is not related to her. I had no prompting of her, no knowledge of her when I made the video. It was in response to someone I know on Facebook, and I do have a traditional relationship with this man, goes back to high school, and then kind of this ping here and there, digital relationship in recent times. So anyways, his name is Tom. So I create this video, the subject Tom, and the subject is related to the Mike Pence free lecture he got at Hamilton. It's also been called a reaming out, and it's also been called an attack. So she writes something and uses the word Trump's panties bunch. So I write, this is the beginning of it. So her tweet is related to that, and she's being critical of Trump. So I put, I comment, retweet her, and I put Trump's panties bunch, and then my link to the video. Listeners, a side note, this is just my ongoing attempt to engage with people, get a link in front of them, somehow relevant to the subject matter that they're tweeting about, in an attempt to get a little bit of traffic on a new video. Listeners, a new video with 0 traffic often remains a video with 0 traffic. A new video that gets a little bit of traffic often can go higher, and for me, much higher. So this is my thing to get links in front of people. So she tweeted on the subject. She was critical of Trump using panties in a bunch. So I write Trump's panties bunch with my link. LA, NYC, Brooklyn woman. My one tweet inspires her 7 in 2 minutes. 100% headline, reaction 0% reading. 100% headline reaction, 0% reading. LA, NYC, Brooklyn woman. Too busy for this middle-aged American. LA, Brooklyn, NYC woman, too busy to listen, maybe she'll read. listeners, this is when I switched from my video to my text version because she conceded that she had not listened to my video. And so I put a text version in front of her. LA, NYC, Brooklyn woman. Alternative, read or continue impulsive reaction to post title. LA, NYC, Brooklyn woman. 21-minute tweet flurry. Less than 3 minutes reading. NYC, Brooklyn, LA woman. Literacy not her problem. She got to the prep school part. NYC, Brooklyn, LA woman. Literacy test pass. ADD, OCD, maybe. End of Tom Duty tweets. Listeners, side note, I guess I was the one that got distracted. I didn't. There was more that could have been done with this, and I must have gone away, and she was delayed with her final, so she apparently had some tweets in here that I let go unresponded. So, listeners, I now return to her series of tweets. Again, this is a weird way to do it. Instead of he said, she said, I read all of mine and all of hers because they don't make sense the other way. They don't make sense. It's just Twitter. It doesn't make sense. So her first reply, she writes a critical of Trump. We have no interaction at all. My initiative puts my link in front of her with repeating her words. Trump's panties in a bunch, which was her words, and then my link, and then she comes back with this. So now I will read her series from beginning to end. Oh, shut up. Standard practice for casting calls to ask for certain types. Types is in caps. They worded the casting call incorrectly. Not supposed to say what you're not looking for, but what you are looking for. Poorly worded casting call, but it's all semantics. Zero, all caps, zero hypocrisy. Get a better argument. This one ridiculous. Yeah, no, I started listening and then stopped. Not worth my time. What are you, Eve, saying? You sent a YouTube link to some dumbass podcast, heard the first few sentences and stopped. I just read your blog. I just tried to read your blog. Prep school in Cleveland, as far as I got. All I need to know, thanks. One, you're not as clever as you think. Two, I'm a passenger in a car driving in traffic. You're a pastime. I don't have patience for people who write about themselves in third person. It's ridiculous. Also, your blog is full of typos. How can I take you seriously? And that was the climax. No climax. That was the unclimactic end. Listeners know it. I went back. Her Twitter ID is arroba STINA Daisy. Stina Daisy. And she has a Trump in her profile picture. So arroba Stina Daisy, this is a sort of her style on Twitter. She has a series of kind of these fun insults of people. So in other words, what she did with me was right in her style.